Hello and welcome once again to Jacob's Toys 5-minute figure reviews. Please do like, share, subscribe, all of those things. All support to the channel is very much appreciated. And in this video I'm going to take a look at the Marvel Legends retro carded War Machine figure, which is on this really cool new Iron Man retro card. So I'm sure we're going to see a few more. They're not just going to produce this card just for one figure, surely. But speculation out the way, let's open this one up and have a closer look. He looks really nice in the packet, so if you are an inbox collector, this is definitely one for your shelves. Just want to have a little bit of a closer look at the packaging before I dive into the review. But as you can see here on the back, it doesn't say a huge amount, but it's got this nice infographic of where the parts go, etc. And then at the top here, they've got a nice little bit about War Machine. And it just tells you about James Rhodes and about his War Machine alias. And then another look at this little infographic here. The artwork on this box is so crisp and so clean. It is a really good box. But I'm not an inbox collector, so let's get him out and have a look. Now the parts that come with him, he comes with a bunch of accessories. He comes with one shoulder cannon, which has got a nice little detail in there of light blue on the end of the barrels. And a little hole there to attach it to the shoulder, and it comes with another shoulder cannon to get as well, which again has the blue detailing as well. Now this is not an original figure, we have seen this before, so I'm going to get, while I'm just putting these rockets on the blaster effect, I'll just tell you a little bit about the one that we had before. I will get him out in a bit and do a side-by-side comparison, but we had this version of the kind of retro War Machine not too long ago as a deluxe figure, but it did come with an unboxed head and a few kind of smoke effects as well for the barrels. So there's less with this one, but it comes in a nice box and it's got that nice kind of retro look to him. No War Machine would be complete without his blast effects, so you get one for each of the shoulder cannons and you get a couple of alternate hands as well. I'm just going to swap over the open palm hands and put the closed fist hand in just for the sake of this review, just because I think they look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. The shoulder cannons clip on really easily, they just pop on the little peg here and they've got a nice little bit of articulation. You can move them around side to side, forwards, backwards, etc. And he looks nice. Now I must admit, the little blue detailing on the end of the barrels really makes a difference. Now he's got pinless arms, but he does not have pinless legs, which is a bit weird, but still the detailing on this figure is fantastic. I said it about it when we saw him the first time, and there's no change here. It's a really nicely put together figure. If you didn't pick up the deluxe the first time round, I would highly recommend picking up this one because it is a really cool comic book accurate War Machine. So let's talk, we're talking about the other one, let's get him out and do a side-by-side comparison just so that you can see what they look like, because they essentially are exactly the same figure, it's just repainted. Now the deluxe version that we got had like a metallic finish and it didn't have that detailing on the end of the barrels, and I think that really does make a huge amount of difference. One thing that we did get with the deluxe version is we did get an unmasked head and we got some smoke effects, so it, you know, swings and roundabouts, there were pros and cons for getting each one of them. I think just looking at them side by side, I do prefer this retro one. I think the white kind of glossy pearlescent white look is a little bit nicer than the silver, makes him pop in the collection and stand out against the kind of reds and yellows of Iron Man. But I'm a sucker for a retro figure, so I did want to pick this one up. Another little feature that's quite cool is that these shoulder cannons do retract backwards, so if you want to display him with them retracted, you can do. Just makes him a little bit thicker, a bit wider in the upper area, the upper side of his body there. So just be aware of that when you're making your displays. But you can twist them around and kind of display them this way as well if you want, but I just think it's a nice little detail that they didn't have to put in, but they did, which is a plus. Kind of putting his head out of screen here. Let's just adjust these cannons and then get him back on screen so you can see. Now we've got these blast effects, and these are a really nice blast effect. They fit on really snug to the end of the barrels, and they really do the job that they're intended for. They look really cool, excellent for action figure photography, excellent for displays, and as you can see, they really do look like he's firing. Obviously he'd need to be in a bit more of a dynamic pose than this one. It's a very vanilla pose, but you can see the blast effects really do look quite good. Now the blast effects are slightly different than the ones we got previously with the deluxe. Let me just get those so that you can see. The ones that we had before had a little bit more kind of a softer feel to them, I think is the best way of putting it. They were a little bit duller and not quite as vibrant as these ones, which is in keeping with the retro look. this one here on the left hand side of the screen, the silver one. There was the deluxe version. You can't see the rockets because of the timer there, but it's a much duller colour, whereas I do prefer the colouring on this new one. I think overall I do prefer this new retro release. I could sacrifice that unmasked head for this new body. I think that the white, the pearlescent white, really jumps, and I'm loving the little blue detailing as well. So the detailing on the arc reactor there in the middle, there's a little bit on the scope on his helmet, and obviously on the ends of the barrels. He is a really nice figure. I think if they'd put the unmasked head in with this one and the smoke effects that they put in with the last one, then this would be an absolutely killer figure and would completely dominate out of the two. But they do both have their pros and cons. But if you don't have a War Machine, he is definitely worth picking up. You will not regret it. He looks great against the retro Ironman figures, and he's just a nice, thick, heavy figure. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, all of those things, and I will see you very soon.